What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Mint City Soccer Show. I'm one of your hosts, David Gussler, and I've got the full crew here with me tonight. Sadly, we're not here to celebrate a victory, so maybe we should go back to having only like one or two of us here on a show. But that's okay. I'm just joking. So, Matt, I'm here with Matt Swift. Matt, how are you doing?
I'm all right, I guess, all things considered.
Yeah, I was trying to think of like witty titles and intros to the show for today, but I was just going to go, and then that's basically what I feel like today. But we've also got a producer.
Just for posting purposes later, how do we spell that? How are we spelling that?
I don't know. Okay. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But as you can hear in the background, we've got our producer extraordinaire, occasional co-host, Corey Ensko, here with us. So Corey, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I mean, we'll get into it. I'm over it. I moved on. So I'm doing all right.
Well, I think everyone feels that way a little bit. And I do want to I want to talk about vibes here a little bit, because while the game wasn't pretty, I don't think it's the end of the world, but I'm sure we'll dig into that here a little bit later, because there was some world-ending, apocalyptic type feelings I feel after this game, and then I think
no,
never. So I'm sure we'll get into that. We've got some, I don't want to say off-season rumors or things we want to talk through later, and then we've also got Open Cup that we can talk through. That's coming up later this week as well. Now, Corey Ensko is pumped to talk about some U.S. Open Cup.
I actually am.
I know you are. He's like, it's my childhood dream, an MLS team in Charlotte playing the Independents, but that's okay. We'll talk through that.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. So bear with us. It might be a little bit of a lengthy episode, but I promise you it's going to be great. So Swift, let's rip the Band-Aid off as we reflect on Nashville's victory against Charlotte FC, 2-1 against Charlotte in Charlotte on Saturday. It was the first time we've lost in Charlotte in quite a while. Like we've had some draws here and there, but Charlotte is typically a pretty, I don't want to say hostile place, but it's a pretty hard place to win at, right? Mm-hmm. And we've had friends of the show, Vaughn, Jose, others come in and talk about the importance of winning your home games, because those points are important when you do drop points on the road, right? And so Charlotte, unfortunately, did not get points here against Nashville. Nashville is doing very well this season. Mm-hmm. If you're looking at them at the table, they're obviously number one in the East, sitting with 16 points. Charlotte, not too far off right now in fifth with 11 points. So this game could have made that top of the table a little bit more competitive if you look at the grand scheme of things here. Nashville came into this also playing, I think, Copa America, where they're having to play, international teams. They've had a congested schedule. They kind of started their B squad at some parts of the team. So on paper, when you looked at this an hour beforehand, I felt pretty good, Swift. But how did you feel going into this game, and how do you feel now?
Yeah, I believe at the beginning, like I was like, oh, I'm pumped. But then there was a little part of me that, Corey, we talked about this and kind of like talking about your Carolina Tar Heels. We tend to play down to our competition. And in the first couple of minutes, I was like, oh no. Mm-hmm. And I was afraid that's what was gonna happen. So on paper, yeah, David, yeah, we should have rolled them in the first half, but we kept them in it and then paid the price pretty early, and just never really, it just wasn't our night either. It's just kind of an off night. The vibes were off in the stadium, I felt like. I won't go too much into that, but so it's just an off night for us.
Well, I'm starting the night off on an off night too, because I just called it Copa America when I'm at CONCACAF Champions Cup, but it's okay.
Well, they played club. They played Club America.
Club America.
So maybe you got them both. Yeah, you got it.
We knew what you meant. You're good.
Yeah, keep rolling. Keep rolling.
It just fits into the vibe that I'm at, so it's okay. But so yeah, I mean, I felt similar to you, Swift. I wasn't at the game. I decided to stay home, have my nice, comfortable couch a little bit, and I should have gone to the game, because the last game I went to, we won. But
I think a lot of people chose to sit on a comfy couch on Saturday night.
Yeah.
That's an ongoing trend, Corey, that we could rip that Band-Aid off and talk about, but no, I'm just joking. So, but Swift, so in this game, I mean, some of the buzz leading up to this point was obviously the absence of Wilfred Zaha. He was out with yellow card accumulation. whether you agree with that card or not, in the last game, I do not. He is out for this game. So you had Abada start in his place. Outside of that, it's been the same starting 11 now for the last 2 or 3 games going into this match, which is good and bad. It's good because it's creating consistency. It's not great whenever you perform in this manner with the same starting 11 that's shown that they can perform well at this point. But what's I don't want to make this into such a negative show, but let's just rip it off here for a second. Abada, what did you think about his performance in this game? Did he fit well? Did he replace Wilfred Zaha like we expected a DP? Let's just dive into that and just be frank.
I think if you look at this and you say, okay, your big time player is out for this game, but the replacement is Kerwin Vargas and another DP, one would think you would be okay. Abada was subbed off at halftime. That's about all I need to say. I do have an early screen grab. There'll be some screen grabs in this episode, but I knew in the first probably 5 minutes that we were going to be in trouble on that side. And it's not just Abada that I was worried about. It was that whole left side. But yeah, I knew early on we were going to be in trouble. And, we were talking in Discord. I really wanted to get pumped for Abada. Again, another great opportunity for him to start and really show what he's about, play well, and he played horrible and was subbed at halftime. And the folks that like him or want to defend him, I don't see how you have a leg to stand on anymore. It's just time and time again, it's a disappointment. Being subbed at halftime is a joke. And we were talking in Discord when David, I asked you, I think, when has Abada even played 90 minutes for us? Like once or twice the whole time he's been here, 70 plus games. It's like once. I can't even remember. So
I'll look back and see, but it's very little. I know that much. You're right.
I've got it. I'll share that. It's not been great. I think because I remember we talked about this a very long time ago, Corey and Swift. I think it goes back to, I think the last time he played 90 minutes was April 19th, 2025 against San Diego FC. He played 90 minutes, but that was like one of maybe a handful of times that he's played 90 minutes in his career here.
It's the only time. Me clicking through it very quickly, and someone can call me out, like shoot us a note if you see another one. Looking back at his his records for every match he's played for Charlotte FC in any competition, he has not played he hasn't played 90 minutes other than that one time.
Yeah. And you can make a case, he's a winger, he runs, blah, blah. Well, we have a 33-year-old on the other side that can play 90 minutes. And you're a professional athlete.
We also have like a 40-year-old center back that's playing 90 minutes too every week. But
I mean, yeah. And so, again, he, for me, doesn't give you anything going forward. And he's a hell of a liability on defense. And if you want to, we could, this is the 3rd minute, the first screen grab. If you want to bring that up, and it's about Abada, and I don't want to just beat him to the ground, but I'm kind of sick of it, really.
This is the 3rd minute one you need?
Yeah.
Not the Abada one. There's another Abada one. Not to spoil what's happening.
Yeah, well, there you go. Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, well, this is what I was talking about with the space. This is how I knew in the first couple of minutes we're going to be in trouble. So the screenshot is Nashville has the ball out wide. Harry Tuffalo is marking 1-on-1. Harry did not have a good game either, by the way.
No.
Not many people did, but Harry, that whole left side was really bad. And that showed at halftime when they subbed out the 3 people that I'm highlighting here. This is the 3rd minute. Again, Gianni, instead of guarding the man that's at the top of the box, because this ball was played to the guy at the top of the box, it was a bad pass that Gianni actually cut out. But that ball should have made it to the guy at the top of the box. And Gianni drifts into the box and doesn't guard this guy, leaves him wide open. And I think Gianni gets lucky that he gets to that ball. And again, it was a bad pass, as you could see. And Abada is out here on the wing. This is the right back, I think, coming forward. And this was par for the course first half. Just this type of spacing and play down on the left-hand side. And then going forward, I don't know how many times Harry and Abada passed the ball back to each other, and they just kind of like did a 360, came back, passed it 360. I was losing my mind. So not only does Abada not give you anything offensively, defensively, he's just as bad. And if you want to go to the other Abada not playing defense, we could do that. We could do that too. Yep. And that's the thing with like the comparison between Vargas and Abada. Like, say what you want about them having like similar, goals and assists, but like defensively, look at this screenshot. Abada is literally looking at the man he should be guarding.
So here's Abada. This is the literally 12th minute for everybody who's not able to watch on YouTube or on Spotify.
And I will start putting these in Discord. I do apologize. I think I was supposed to already do that. But Abada is looking over his shoulder to the man he is supposed to be guarding. Harry is tucked in. He has a guy. If you go forward a frame, this led to a shot on goal, by the way.
It's really bad spacing. I mean, well, and I don't know if you noticed their Swift in this game, but Nashville was playing exceptionally wide. Like, it's almost as if they knew that like we were going to be more compact, and they were trying to force us to be more wide. And I mean, in the screenshot, you can kind of see it. Like they're literally hugging the sideline, and we're giving them 20 yards of space here of footprint.
Yeah. And I should say the why I stopped at the 3rd minute, that also led to a really good shot. So the 3rd minute, 12th minute, both of these plays led to a shot. So just again, the spacing on this side was atrocious. I don't know what else to say. And we talk about Abada every single episode. I'm honestly tired of saying his name.
Yeah. Well, and did you guys go watch the game back? I know you guys were there, but did you watch it back? Well, obviously Swift had to for screenshot purposes, I guess. But sorry for you had to do that. But I don't know if you listened to the commentators. So that stood out to me watching that in the first half. I want to say they're trying to hype up Abada, but they were talking about the importance of this game for him. And they were like, hey, listen, like this is a perfect opportunity for him to come in and shine, be able to show what he can do. He is a player that has a lot of potential, blah, 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 blah. Like they were talking about this. And then they also were talking kind of to your point. And I know you talked about the passes between him and Harry, the connection that Harry and Zaha had, that they were able to kind of play off each other and make runs off each other really well. And then second half starts and they sub Abada out, and the announcer's like, well, kind of know how that went for Lil Abada, so not going to be our focus for the match here at this point now. Kind of like saying, that wasn't great, right? And so I don't mean to sit here and just bang on the guy or anything like that. Like, we're human beings, I get it. Like it's part of the game though. But I mean, I don't know. And not to make this the whole episode, but like, what do you do at this point? Because like we did sign on a player in Rodolfo Aloko. I think I may have mispronounced that, and we'll talk about the subs later. But like, obviously made some moves this past week where, I think we bought down Corin Vargas down from the U22 spot, gave Aloko the U22 spot now for salary cap implications. So now, like, if you think about it, like, obviously our wingers are making up a huge amount of cap space. You've got Lil Abada in a DP spot, Wilfred Zaha in a DP spot. Corin Vargas was a U22 player and is now kind of a higher paid player in that space. You've got now Aloko now in the U22 spot. So we've got 4 players taking up very coveted positions in that midfield and winger position here for us. So like, and Corey, for those not watching on YouTube, did the thumbs out of space here for us. But like,
a couple
what
of things.
Do you do at this point?
At this point, he's got to go. Like, I don't like to bag on players like this, but like, he's had so many chances to prove that he can bring value to this team. Over and over and over again, he's gotten a shot and has shown nothing in his years here. So we got to move on. We just have to move on. I don't care what at this point we get for him or whatever. It just got to be done.
Yeah.
And to your point, like the amount of salary we have in that position, but when I think about it, I don't feel like we have that much depth. It's not, like on those winger roles, like, when we lose Zaha, we take a huge step back in what we have up there, or either way. Like, I mean, Aloko being new to this team, I think he will add a lot of there. We can talk about him separately, but like we're spending so much money, and one of them is just not bringing any value to the team, and is such a huge hit on the salary. So like we've got to go, and we've got to like use that money elsewhere and maybe build out a little bit more of, young depth or something else up there, so that when we lose a Vargas or lose a Zaha to yellow or reds or injuries or whatever kind of happens throughout the season, that we feel like we actually have some other pieces we can plug in and play well. But yeah, at this point, I'm just like, I mean, I felt this way at the end of last year, and then was like, all right, fine, we'll give him another chance. And he's shown absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, it's pretty sad you get sub at the half when you can't even start. He's lost his spot twice.
Yeah,
and then you get a free pass to start, and then you're subbed at halftime. I mean, there's no way to defend that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to multitask here for a second, but I guess like when's the next window open up? Summer,
July,
yeah.
Or I don't know if it's changed because of the World Cup.
I had it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
yeah, you got to try to move him.
July 13th to September 2nd is what I'm seeing.
Yep.
So yeah, July to September.
Oof. That's a long time. So
I mean, there's nothing we can do right now. I mean, I don't want to see him see the field.
I know. Yeah.
Like at this point, like if we found a way to get Aloko on the roster, like if we need him, and we can talk about the subs later, because I've texted y'all that I had feelings.
Mm-hmm.
But if we found a way to get him on the roster, I want to see him before I see Abada on the field.
And I think that's why, and we haven't talked about this on the show yet. I think that's why they went ahead and bought Kerwin down, because I actually think Vargas would naturally have rolled off and it wouldn't have cost us money, but that's a couple of months away. So I think what you do is you go ahead and buy him down, bring up Aloko, and give him some opportunities now to get some minutes in, and again, kind of assess summertime where he's at, if he's going to cut it or not. And then, but I do seriously think that they'll probably replace Abada. Maybe like a like for like, they'll probably get a winger. I certainly would. And then, we might have an issue on the other wing. There might be another DP spot. And then you could get a little creative there with some things, but we'll see how that all shakes out too. But yeah, I think everybody is pretty much like, he's had a shot and it's just not working out here. Maybe somewhere else it'd be beneficial for him, but he plays with has no confidence at all. And again, offensively, defensively, you're not getting anything. So
real quick before we talk about these goals. So I know last year we were talking about, there was rumored leaks where Abada was linked to some championship side teams, or we were interested in selling him potentially, but deals either didn't go through. We didn't have the players to backfill him at the time, etc. Did this offseason in current state right now in April of 2026 do more damage to selling Abada now than if we tried to offload him back in the fall?
That's a good question.
Because it's almost as if Zoran played. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it didn't help, but I mean, it's so like, I guess maybe another way to word this is, did it hurt Zoran and the team more at this point because they're gonna have to sell and offload him, or did it hurt Abada on where he wants to go probably now at this point? Because you do have to get the players buy-in too, where he's gonna get sold to. You know what I mean? Potentially.
Yeah, and I wonder too, sometimes when you have targets, they're not available quite yet, and you just kind of have to like bite the bullet and hold on. So I don't know. Those are some of the things that as fans we don't always have that information. And sometimes it seems like we're not making moves when we are. It's just not the right time to do it. And I'm hoping that's kind of what we're looking at. Like the player that we want is available this summer. We'll make the move. And you do give Abada a chance to prove himself. Like he had another season to prove himself and, get in form and everything like that. So maybe the team thought like, hey, we'll give him a shot. He's got some time, but our targets and who we want is in the summer. I don't know. I could be completely wrong on that too. Maybe they fumbled the ball here. I'm not sure.
Well, you know what? I have the perfect remedy here to help Leo Abada. There's a stadium down the street from me and Corey off of Monroe Road. Not really, but it's called the Sportsplex. And, I think it's got some magic mojo there that a DP quality player from MLS can right the ship against a USL 1 club.
You remember when he got hot though? He was hot for a second. If you remember.
I remember that Atlanta game. It was like, oh my God, we finally got a winger DP that's going to be here for years to come. And here we are again talking about it. But anyways, I think that's enough about a talk for the episode. But I'm sure we'll come back up later on when we talk some off season.
No, he's done. I don't think we'll have talk about him the rest of the show.
So Swift, I know you have some more screen grabs here, but I know you said Charlotte did not start this game off on the right foot. Nashville had some early chances here. And then if you look at, early on, Nashville scored at the 14th minute here. So I know you got some screenshots. You want to talk through what happened and what went wrong on this goal?
Real quick before you do that, can I just say the one positive thing that happened in the first half was Abada. That cross that was winning.
The crappy cross that somehow ended up being a shot.
And
with his 0.01 expected goal.
The only chance we had in the first half that I can remember. So
that's very true.
Was a miss-hit cross.
Was a miss-hit cross that about went in.
This is going to be mean as hell, and I'm sorry. I just got to say it because he at one point tried to cross the ball in and crossed the ball off his own leg, and it went out of bounds.
We were talking through that, so we were. I remember group chatting you guys, and I was watching the game live, and I just remember thinking, I said, how many times have we ever seen a player trip over himself or like cross the ball into himself in that part? And that was not a great moment. I was like, man, he's pressing. You can tell he wants to do well. He wants to do it. I think it's a mental thing here. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about this fun goal.
Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, let me first say this shot that led to the goal was amazing shot. Kalina, he even got a hand on it, and I mean, there's no way you stop that. But the problem is not the shot. I mean, you have to kind of like just throw your hands up and be like, all right, it's what led up to it is the problem. Corey, if you want to bring that up,
Yep.
Yeah. So again, we have a problem.
This looks very similar to the last one we looked at.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So you see where what's about to happen. Abada's tucked in. This starts on the wing. If you want to go to the next one. I'm trying not to be mean, but I did say useless on the screen grab. I put question marks over the people that, and there's this theme. I don't know. It's kind of nitpicking, like people pointing at the very man that they should be getting. So you'll see Pep Biel, who is an offensive player, but he has to track back. The guy that he is pointing at is the guy he needs to be guarding.
Which one's Pep? Is this Pep or is this Tokumari? Okay. I couldn't tell.
Yeah. So the guy that's near the referee, that's Westwood.
Okay. That's what I was wondering. All right.
Yeah. So, Gianni also this half just gets sucked in time and time again and did this play. And it's just too easy. I mean, look at this guy in the middle of the field, just wide, completely ass open. There is just, what is happening? So Pep is not tracking back. Gianni's overcommitted. Abada, he was tucked in. Now he's out here, and we just got stretched, and it was just way too easy for Nashville's B team to move the ball against us. So if you want to go to the next screenshot, this is the one I wanted to share with you guys. Okay, this one I'm going to have to put in Discord. It made me cackle when I watched this. And I just wanted to have a little bit of fun. This is we didn't win. It's a kind of a negative episode. And I just needed a good laugh. I'm going to put this on Discord.
There's your screenshot. Okay. Great screenshot for the episode there, Corey. Sorry.
Yeah, that's going in the thumbnail. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So I mean, okay. All right. So we've overcommitted, right? The ball is now being played to the middle. Nashville now has the ball, and they're dribbling towards our 18-yard box. If we're talking about Tim Ream here, instead of Tim Ream coming out or Ashley Westwood sliding over, but more specifically, Tim Ream needs to come out. Tim Ream is at the top of the 18-yard box, and this is what the funny part is. He literally has both of his hands on his nuts. Like, I don't know. And if you go watch the video of it, because it's not like his hands just happen to be there. He literally is like grabbing his crotch as if maybe, like sometimes players will do that if there's about to be a shot and they're kind of like covering their stuff. I get it.
Right.
He's not about to shoot. He's dribbling. He's dribbling at Tim Ream, and Tim is grabbing his balls with both hands. And I started chuckling. Tim Ream did not have a good game, by the way.
No.
I think everyone did not have a good game, to be clear.
Yeah.
It's not been a pretty game at all, to be honest with you.
Yeah. No, so, I mean, if you want to go to the next slide, I mean, again, Ashley Westwood has now finally moved over. Tim has decided to make a play on this guy who has dribbled into his space.
Right.
And that's the thing about Tim. Tim tends to hold off too much for me instead of going out. I know he's not a speed demon, so maybe he's worried about getting beat. But sometimes you got to close players down. We'll talk about the second goal. But like here, Westwood and Tim collapse. Instead of Tim taking him one-on-one, Ashley Westwood leaves this huge, on the screen, I have this big red circle kind of where the referee is. And this is where the shot happens because this guy's able to lay it off to a guy rushing in because we're sagged back in. And our defensive shape was horrible this game. And so that's what led to the first goal. And again, this goal was amazing, but this is what led up to it. These simple things.
Well, what stood out to me in that moment, I remember I messaged in the Discord and it happened live, was that, like, and to your point, Tim didn't step up fast enough. Ashley didn't put enough pressure on it. Like that player was able to dribble across basically almost halfway across the 18-yard box without being contested, which is not great. Yeah. And then laid it off for a crazy, crazy goal, which was a beautiful goal. You can't do anything with that. Yeah, but sure.
You wait
we
to
should
the
have been able
goal.
To stop the buildup. Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. You wait to the second goal. I don't think I really realized what happened in the second goal, but it makes me so unbelievably mad going back and looking at it. But yeah, that was our defensive shape in the first half was good God awful. And we had no sense of urgency like we've had in the other games. The passing, like I said, we kept going down the left-hand side, and it was just like this hairy Abada dick around.
We were trying so hard to go on the left-hand side and it didn't make any sense to me, but it was so clear that that was the game plan that they were trying to go for, was to put it on the left side to the point where they were forcing it when it didn't make any sense to be going down that side.
Yeah, it was bad. So that's about
They said this is the side that Corey sits on. We want to give him the most Leo Abada action he could see it. And that's he got to see it live.
Personal, I got to see it. It was something.
So, it was something. So I mean, I don't want to harp on the negative too much. Anything else in the first half before we talk about subs, going into second half, and then
what positive do you want to harp on if we don't want to harp on the negative?
Well, let me ask you this.
I'm happy to talk about positives
up.
if you got positives to talk about, but I don't know.
I guess here's a positive. Like, did they have the trumpet player back again for the national anthem? I don't know. I wasn't there, so like
I don't know what they're gonna do when he takes like a vacation or something like that. But he was still there.
So the same guy.
Yes.
Yeah,
same guy.
Yeah,
he's awesome. Love it. It's great. Yeah. Something.
Got it. Well, so let's transition to halftime, and then so that it is very rare for Dean to make quick subs. So it was especially rare to see multiple subs at halftime for this game. I think post game in Swift, I didn't confirm this. Someone said it in Discord. I think one of the press conferences, Dean came out and said that he either got the subs or the tactics wrong to start the game, so he had to correct it second half, whatever it is. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, so you had Lil Abada obviously got subbed out. It says officially for Luca Del Torre, but like De La Torre, but like they moved Pep Biel out wide. They moved Brant Bronico up top. They brought Luca in for Gianni, and then Gianni got subbed out. So, talk to me about the subs. Like, was that what you would have done at that point? Like, especially when we have natural wingers already on the bench, kind of like, like what would you have done in this situation here?
Yeah, so I don't like the sub choices. You move your playmaker magician out on the wing, who also doesn't give you a lot of defensive cover, who doesn't naturally play that position. You literally spent money to pay down another player to rush to get a Crown Legacy guy up, and then you don't playing until like the 80th freaking minute. That's a natural winger. So you move your Cam out to the wing, and you put Luca Del Torre, who played like ass too. And Brant Bronico, this pains me. Brant Bronico played, this might be his worst game. Like, he played really bad. The subs made sense. Getting Gianni and Abada off the field, I get it. But moving your Cam over, I don't know. I wouldn't have done that. I didn't think it was a good idea. We did play better in the second half, but I mean, Nashville's up a goal on the road, so the game changed anyway. So I didn't like the tactics at the first half. I didn't like the subs in the second half. So there's lots of questions with coaching right now for me, selection and tactics and everything else. So to answer your question, no, I thought the subs were stupid.
They're fine. I think what frustrated me so much is what you got to, which is we had players on the bench who could play in that role, and we're down a goal, and we need someone who can give us a little bit of a spark in the attack. And you take Pep out of that position to be able to be that person that does that, to put him on the wing and bring in De La Torre, who is, I think there's still a chance for him to make a real impact on this team, but he hadn't really shown a whole lot yet. So I just don't understand why that happened. And I think, I don't know if we're talking about all the subs in the second half, but I'll go ahead and talk about it. Like, bringing on Tiger Smalls, I lost it. I absolutely lost it when we brought in Tiger Smalls instead of Kerwin Vargas to replace Kerwin Vargas. One, Kerwin wasn't playing very well, but whatever. Like, knowing what we had on the bench, and the first person we bring in of that group was Tiger Smalls before Archie Goodwin, before Aloko. I lost it. That to me makes absolutely no sense. I'm going to go ahead and jump to a question because like I feel like we don't want to rehash it again later. But Chris in the Discord basically says, I have a question for the next show. Can anyone make this make sense? And I'm going to share what he showed for those who are watching. But for anybody who's not watching, just go to FootMob and look at Tiger Small's match ratings and his stats.
Yeah.
And for anybody who's not watching, it's not good. It's not good.
No.
He has 2 goals for Charlotte FC, 1 in Open Cup, 1 in Leagues Cup, and then 2 for Crown Legacy. And I don't understand what he's done that earns him minutes in this match or in any match at this point above some of the other players we have on the team. I mean, that just, I was already in a bad space with this, how this match was going. This one, I lost it when you put him in. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. I think I saw at least a lot on social media, people kind of saying, hey, I think it's time we start asking some questions of this coach. Like, there might be a problem here. And I agree. Like, it's okay to get tactics wrong every now and then. It's okay to make mistakes as a coach, because he's going to, right? But it's the same thing. And then you started Abada at the beginning of the season after Vargas was hot last season.
Yep.
So you start Abada and you keep playing him. And then, to your point, you keep bringing in Tiger Smalls, who has done nothing. I hear he practices well, but it's not translating on the field over and over again. And, we got rid of Brandon Cambridge, who I think at least played in the games better than Tiger Smalls. We got rid of Tavares, who I think played better in the games than Tiger Smalls. You could say talent or whatever you want to say, practice is better. But I'm kind of angry that we got rid of those guys and kept Tiger.
Yeah.
And I want Tiger to do well. And again, I want Abada, I want all of our players to play well, but I can't come on this show in good conscience and faith and be like, yeah, man, everybody's awesome and like pay everybody money. They're great. I can't do that because we're at a point where we keep making the same mistakes. The coach keeps doing the same things. The subs are wrong. The subs are late. So yeah, like I was pumped that he made, David, to your point, I was pumped that he made a choice at halftime. That showed me like, okay, strong point made. It was just what he put in and then what he moved around. I'm like, wait, no, what are you doing? Like, you overthought this. Like your initial thought was good, but then you like overthought it. So, yeah. So here we are. Yeah.
So let's rip the Band-Aid off and talk about that second goal by Nashville.
Oh my God.
So before we talk about PKs and missed PKs and things like that, because I know you have a screen grab for it, Swift. So what went wrong on this? And oh God, I'm looking at the screenshot and there's already a lot of transition going on here. So
holy crap.
Go ahead.
If you don't, I'm not saying go back and watch the game, but you can go back and watch match highlights. It takes like 10 minutes to watch. Do yourself a favor and go back to the 61st, 62nd minute. This goal, and people were talking about, this shot could have been a handball. It was a deflection and blah, blah, blah. I don't care about any of that. I care about the fact that at 61-13 in the match, Nashville has the ball in their own half, surrounded by two guys. One of my all-time favorite players, Brant Bronico, who's right behind this dude dribbling the ball.
Can you pause just for 2 seconds? Sorry.
Yeah.
Because I just want to highlight here, and I don't mean to get you on your tangent here, but you were just talking about Pep Biel being an attacking player and not ever dropping back. At least Brant Bronico's dropping back right here. I don't mean to like be a kudos here, but like I
give it a minute, give it a second.
Second. Well, I'm talking about in that attacking mid position, not in this moment. But yes, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to derail this.
Yeah, and you got Westwood right there too. He has the number 3. I've drawn numbers over each player because there's literally like 6 players that could have made a play on this ball. So I'm going to pick on Tim Ream again. I want you to see where Tim Ream is right now. He is right on he's on our half, right over the halfway line. I want you to just watch this. Okay. Nashville has the ball going forward. This is the second frame. Now Nashville, same player, has now brought the ball across half field. Brant Bronico, for whatever reason, seemed like he was stuck in like first gear getting back. Like I've never seen him do this. He just kind of was like, yeah, somebody to get this guy. Like it wasn't the typical Brant Bronico that I'm used to. You see where Tim Ream is now. Tim Ream does what he always does. He's like, let me drop back as far as humanly possible at this guy that is dribbling towards me. The only thing Tim's not doing is holding his nuts this time. So you've got Westwood has kind of given up. He's like, all right, Brant, somebody's got this dude. Del Torre's on the other side. He's starting to move his legs, and that's about all he does in this play. He's starting to move his legs to get back. Nathan Byrne kind of has a guy. Morrison's in good shape, but now Nashville is across midfield. Go to the next slide. This motherfucking Nashville player still has the goddamn ball, and this shot, guys, happens from a dude, a slow dude dribbling the ball from his own half all the way to our 18. Brant Bronico cannot track the guy dribbling is not a speed demon, and he also tripped a little bit in this play. Brant, for some reason, can't track him down. I have the highlight over Luka. Luka, again, just is kind of moving his legs. Nowhere near this play. Harry Tuffalo is guarding a guy. I mean, he's actually kind of where he should be. But look how far back Tim Ream is now. And I have a blue line and a red line. The blue line is where Tim started. Actually, it's probably higher up, but it's cut off. That red line is where Tim Ream ends up being in this play. This is the problem. So if you go to the next slide.
I don't know if do we have a next one? I don't think I have
okay.
I'll double check that I didn't miss one, but I think this might be it.
Okay. I may not have put this in, but regardless how this shot happens, this guy, there's no other passes, by the way. There's no passes.
No.
This guy gets this ball in his own half and dribbles all the way to the 18 with Brant Bronico chasing him, with Luca Del Torre on a leisurely brisk walk. And Tim Ream thinking, hey, if I sag back enough, maybe this guy will just dribble it out of bounds with me if I just sag back enough. And like, it's a calamity of stupidity. And then Harry Tuffalo was like, oh, let me pick my player here in this play. And then there's a deflected goal. But it doesn't, the shot doesn't matter. This shot should have never happened.
No.
The fact that this dude dribbled basically the length of the field and got a shot off is appalling. And I don't know. Go back and watch it. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I just want to say for the record, that was only a 5-second difference between the first slide and that slide. So a lot of traction, a lot of action took place by Nashville there without any focus by the Charlottes. That's disappointing. But
go back and watch it real time. It's like you're gonna get him. Watch Brant Bronico. I'm so disappointed in Brant Bronico in this play. Like I hate it because he's like, one of my favorite players. But he's just the pace that he tries to get back. It's kind of like somebody will get him. Luca Del Torre is like, I don't play defense, so someone's gonna have to like handle that. And then Tim Ream, but I don't want like a professional veteran captain. I know you're not the fastest, but how do you sink that far back without challenging something?
Yeah, what's weird about it is kind of what you just described, but like in the moment, it felt like it was a breakaway goal the way it was scored because it was one guy doing it. But then when you look, and even in the moment, I thought about like, wait a minute, it wasn't a breakaway. They didn't have numbers.
No,
Nashville didn't have numbers in this one. Even though it felt like it, they didn't have numbers. No. One guy just dribbled through the entire defense.
And at the
scored.
very, very end, there was like a little bit of a pick because Harry's guy kind of, brings across to Tim, but there's no reason for for us to sag that far back. And there's absolutely no reason for one of our players not to track this guy. The guy that's dribbling is not a speed demon. So, and again, he's slow dribbling and he almost falls and we still can't catch him. So just very disappointed.
So, I know that was.
I feel like David's trying really hard to make us not be negative.
No, I'm trying.
I promised myself I was
man.
going to be negative before I got on this episode. I'm like, I'm just going to be calm and like, but I can't do it, man. And I don't want to do it, but like, what, we're going to just lie about what's happening.
No,
But yeah,
no,
and
not
I'm also-
expecting that, but
Yeah.
To the thing you said at the beginning, like I'm also not saying like world is ending. Like, you know, I'm not
No, not
saying
at
that
all.
either. It's just like the mistakes that were in this match were just glaringly bad. Like
Yeah.
this was just such a poor match that I feel like we have to point out the things that were so poor about it. But yeah, I don't think like the team is terrible and the world's ending or anything like that. I'm not going that direction. But yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of positives to take from what that team did on the field on Saturday.
Yeah.
So I guess I can put them both together. The two PKs. So a tale of two cities. Tokomati had a moment where it looked like he was going to receive the ball within 5 yards of the goal. Got fouled. Got a PK. I know you got some feelings on his foul and falling down, but
Yeah.
missed his PK. Missed his follow up opportunity of the PK. And then Archie Goodwin had a moment earlier where he was able to score at least a goal in his. So you want to break down both PKs. What are your thoughts on both the performance on both those PK shots there?
If Tokomati stays on his feet, he scores that goal. That's what I think. But he falls down. And he's been doing this thing where he falls down pretty easy in the box. I don't like it. If he stays on his feet, he probably scores that goal. That's just my take. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the defender gets it, but I was honestly, I was a little shocked that they gave it to us. It was from behind. I get it. So maybe, technically it is a foul and a PK, but as our luck goes, I was like, oh, they're not going to give us that. But sure enough, Tokomati bounces the ball in his head before he takes it. And I've talked to a couple other people. They were like, I knew he was going to miss it before he took it. Like, it's just, again, it just wasn't our night. That the keeper saves it, and then the follow up he just mishits it. So it just sucks, man. And I like Tokomati. I hope this doesn't hit his confidence too much. But yeah, that could have changed some things there. But I will say the second PK is all Archie. Most people would not have gone for that ball. He did. He beat the keeper. So big kudos to him, and I think this is good. I think it's going to put some pressure on Tokomati, and let's get some energy out there, right, when we need it. And again, but you got to make these subs sooner.
Yes.
So big kudos to Archie, probably the bright spot of this game. I like his energy. And that's all I really care about, like making things happen. And he made that goal happen by himself. So
Yeah. Absolutely.
I was going to say the two penalties to me are polar opposites, and pointing out some of the things that you said. So like, I agree with you that I think Tokomati scores if he tries for that ball at all. And I think what bothers me is that, I mean, it's slow-mo replay. It's hard to kind of know what his intent is, but it looks like he's waiting for a foul and has no intention of swinging a foot at that ball. Just none. He's bracing himself to get fouled so he can go down and get a PK.
That was
Yeah. So that's frustrating. Whereas Archie's is him just tearing after, chasing what looks like a dead ball, getting after it, making a huge effort play, just trying to do whatever he can to make an impact on the match, and gets rewarded for it. Like that
100%.
To me are very different penalties. And I mean, not that those necessarily led to the result of what happened in the actual kick, but like that was a stark difference to me is how they approached that moment. I was frustrated to see that, like, I thought they might not allow it because it was just pretty clear to me looking at the replay that he wasn't trying to make a play on it. I mean, he was trying to chest it down, I guess, but like, it looked like he was waiting for a foul, Tokomati, versus what Archie did. So that was just really
I think that's why I didn't think they were going to give it, because he kind of looked like he was waiting for that. So, but they did. I mean, it was from behind.
It was foul.
So
yeah, sure.
Yeah, and it's in the box, so technically it's. He got a yellow card for it.
Yeah,
but I will say, we've been super negative on the episode, but yeah, a bright spot would have definitely 100% been Archie scoring this goal and then finally getting Aloko out on the field.
But again, it happened at the what minute did it happen? The 83rd minute.
Yeah.
83rd minute.
So, yeah. I mean, did anything that you want to highlight from Aloko coming on the field? Because I know there were some little spots there where he made some little flashes here and there. They didn't make any shots or anything like that, or like. But there was a time where he almost had a header in the box on a cross. So then there was, he did some little passes here and there from that perspective. So you could tell he was eager to get going. You can tell his adrenaline was pumping as well.
He's
still super young. Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, let's be honest here. Like, he was tearing up in Crown Legacy. It's a little different on the front, on the first team. But the thing is like, he's probably going to miss-hit some passes. He has a lot of energy. He's a beefy dude. He's the exact opposite of Abada. Like, he's physical, man. He does not shy away from challenges. So, which I appreciate. So I'm excited to see what he can do. I'm going to give him some grace. And I want to go back to Luca Del Toro. Like, I was pretty negative on him, but again, he's 7 games in, so maybe he'll be okay. But we need to definitely with Aloko, we need to give him a little bit of grace and time to.
Is he really 5'9"? On Wikipedia and on FootMob, it shows Aloko as 5'9". That can't be right, can it?
He's a big dude.
Okay. Can we talk about the fact this came up? Sorry, I'm changing topics on you, but related to this because I keep forgetting to mean this or talk about this. How tall do you think Nathan Byrne is?
Probably 5'8", 5'9".
Do you know what he's listed as?
No.
6 foot.
No way.
He is. I swear to God, this came up. The people that sit behind me. I swear to God,
this is the George Marks conversation all over again.
Yeah, that's so true.
This came up. People behind me were talking about it, and they said something about him being 6 foot, and I literally told me there's no way. And then I looked it up, and on the roster listing, he's listed at 6 foot.
Wikipedia has Nathan Byrne listed as 5'6". There's no way in hell he's 6 foot.
I've seen Nathan Byrne in person. He's not 6 feet tall.
He's like my height. And I'm 5'6".
There's no way he's 6 foot.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you on FootMob, which I'm going to see if I can look at the team's website roster. But on FootMob, he's listed as 6 foot, and I was like, "You've got to be kidding me."
Yeah.
Hold on.
Now you're going to make so
he's listed as 5'11" on the team website.
Yeah. So I just thought of a new game, Corey. So we're gonna do a secret. We were just joking around how we haven't done a secret episode in a long time. I'm gonna do one about like where are they now, and then there's gonna be a second segment of where I just list off the player's height, and you're gonna guess what player it is, and based off of the team's listing of how tall they are. So we're gonna play that game. It'll be great.
I just had to say that because this came up a couple games ago, and I was like, that blew my mind that they have him listed at that because there's no way. There's no way. All right, sorry, I took us on a tangent there.
Do you know that? And sorry, this is because I'm on Wikipedia and looking up Nathan Byrne. Nathan Byrne's been with Charlotte FC longer than he was with Derby County.
Yeah, he's been here for a while.
And he's 1, 2, 3, 4. He is here just as long as Wingen Athletic too. Just FYI.
He's been such a great signing. We want to talk about positive stuff. Yeah, he's been great.
This is literally outside of, I mean, Wigan, he played more games than here, but like that, I think that's just because it's championship and they play like 50 million matches a year.
That's true.
But this is his longest tenure with a team if all things finish this year. So interesting.
It's awesome.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and just not talk about this game ever again. No, I'm just joking. So so the only thing I just want to add on this, and I'm sure we could talk about some fan Q&As here in a second, Corey, but like this game sucked. There's a lot of negative for it. There's a lot of virtual. I can't even say the word. There was just a lot of negativity online for it. But like I would say in the grand scheme of things, we're going to have bad losses like this. It's going to happen from time to time. Prefer it not to be at home. But like, does this change the trajectory for the season for you, for the team? Does this change your outlook for the team's performance now at this point?
No, I mean, there's two things here. There are worrying signs that keep happening. That's what I think most bugs me and why I do the screen grabs and things like that. And some of the coaching choices bug me. But I think we see it every year. We saw it last season how, we'll struggle a couple games and everybody's like, oh my God, we're the worst team ever, fire everybody. And then we go on a historic tying MLS win run. And we talk about every season, like there's ups and downs, and you just kind of have to like try not to get too high, too low, which is easier said than done. I think for us, because we're all kind of emotional about our team and everything. But yeah, I mean, we just have to. The only thing is like now we're playing 4 games away, and if we end up dropping all these games, that we start, really going to the bottom of the table. So that's the only thing for me. But we're getting Wilf back. Aloko's up. Maybe we'll be okay. So I don't think the sky's falling, but there are some concerns.
Yeah,
definitely some concerns. But do you want to talk Open Cup real quick, Corey, before we do Q&A, or do you want to?
Let's end with Open Cup stuff. Let's get to the Q&A, and then we can watch this match out of our minds and move on to other things.
Yeah,
let's do it.
So Nietzsche has a couple here. I'll pick. She has several things, so I'm going to just pick a couple things because this jumped out to me as well. Why do we keep playing kickball? This is not a middle school recess. We are not winning the 50-50 balls, so why keep offering them up? And I noticed this especially in this match compared to other matches, how many balls we just booted down the field to no one in particular.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think we sometimes run out of ideas and we want to stretch the field. And I mean, the thing is, like, if you're not going to win the first ball, you got to win that second ball. Usually the second ball is the one you really need to win. And we're not doing that enough. A lot of times we're getting it out to our fullbacks and they're having to launch it because they're under pressure. And you're basically just turning the ball back over. And I've noticed too, when we struggle in games, we do this thing where the other team has possession and we finally get it back. And that very first or second pass is a launch ball and we give it right back to them. And then here they come again. It's kind of like this recycled thing over and over again. We can't seem to settle down and just make some passes. And I'm not talking about like 1-2 back, back and forth. I'm like those progressive balls that we talked about when we were winning and everything. Like we can't get into that rhythm. It seems like it's usually the opposite. It's like we don't have the ball, we get the ball, and we immediately give it away again.
Yeah. Anything you want to add, David? You could.
Good.
Yep. All right. Her second one that I'll read. We need Nate on the podcast to answer this one for us. Can you explain the red card on goal opportunity rule? There was a lot of debate around me if both PKs should have been reds. No. I don't think they should have been reds.
The second one wasn't a goal scoring opportunity. It was a 50-50 ball going towards the outside of the box.
Yeah. I mean, the main rule I know of from sitting beside Nate for how many years now? 4 or 5 years? How many years have you had a team? This is the 5th year? 5th year. Is the Dogzo rule, which is the denial of a goal scoring opportunity, which is when it's just very obvious that a player is going to have an opportunity to score a goal and gets fouled in that process. Basically, if there's no other defender back, those kind of things, that's a red card. But in general, I think those penalties are often just, either no card or a yellow card. It's got to be pretty egregious or like a pretty clear.
Yeah.
There was no other defender. This was a foul to try to save a goal from happening kind of situation. Yeah. There might be others. I'm sure there's others, but those are the main things.
Yeah. Look at you. I need you to come ref our Sunday league now because they,
I would be on such a power trip. You don't want that. All right. You don't want that. All right. Matt Jones. So talking about some of the coaching decisions, he says, I think Dean's a bad coach when there's too much change, like a key player not being there, etc. So basically making adjustments when we have to replace somebody or substitutions or all those kind of things. I think his strength as a coach is that he slowly builds something that works and doesn't change much. In a wild card scenario, he doesn't know exactly what to do. Maybe this applies to all coaches, but I think Dean's systematic ways make him especially susceptible to this. Thoughts? David, do you want to start this time, or Matt, you feel like you have something to say?
No, go ahead, Swift. Go ahead.
Okay.
Swift, go ahead.
No, this is a really good question, a really good observation, I think, because there is something to be said where when we are missing a player, or more specifically this season, when a team is not at full strength coming against us, and you would think that we would have the foot on the gas, so we do the opposite. And I don't know that Dean can adjust well on the fly. I think Dean is good with developing talent and has gotten us to a certain level, but I do want to see him make a little bit better strategic tactical changes and shifts on the fly, like seeing the game and start moving some things around of like the style of play, not necessarily like, oh, I need to make a sub, just the style of play, like, and do it quicker, and definitely make the subs faster. That's been an ongoing thing for a couple seasons now.
Yeah.
Do you think it has anything to do? And I'm trying to see how I could word this. I don't know if it's. I mean, it could be that, but like most soccer coaches. I mean, soccer coaches don't typically stay somewhere for years and years and years and years and years and years for a long, long time, right? They move around. They 3-5 years, whatever. At least modern age. This is Dean. Like Dean usually is at a place for 3-4 years at a time. Like if you look at Norwich, Aston Villa, Brentford, Walsall, etc., usually 3 or 4 year stints. And I think what also happens during that time frame, after about 3 or 4 years, you start to figure out coaches and what their strengths and weaknesses are. Like year 1 or year 2, we have a game like this, be like, "Ah, shit, it was just a bad game," whatever it is. Yeah. And it's not a trend, right? And so I think what we're probably identifying now, because no coach is going to be perfect, I think fans are just starting to realize where our opportunities are with personnel, but also with the technical side. And it stands out more because we have 3 years worth of doing this versus a 1 year, it's a one-off game kind of situation. Yeah. But in terms of weaknesses, right? But I do agree. I think there's some opportunities there, but I mean, listen, there's only so many Tiger Smalls you can sub in to figure it out for you. So I'm just joking. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's keep moving forward. Speaking of Nate, he has 3 questions. The first one is just WAWD, which we were discussing. We're going to get bracelets, which stands for "What are we doing?" Which is what Nate especially often yells from the stands, and he yelled it a whole lot on Saturday night. So we're gonna get some WAWD bracelets if we can make this happen. That's his first question, which I don't think needs an answer. We've tried to answer that question this whole time. But his other ones, time of possession does not equal quality of possession. With Charlotte FC only missing 1 starter, why does our quality of play diminish so greatly to that point last night? I'm not saying Zaha would have changed anything, but the quality of football was unacceptable.
Agreed.
Yeah. But I guess the question would be like, why is it just missing 1 player? Like what?
I think
how does it I don't want to
so bad. Call it like I don't want to call it like a calamity of errors, but I think it's just it was a Wilfred Zaha-less game, so that already is a hurt, and then everyone just seemed like they had a shit game. Pep Biel did not do good. Ashley Westwood did not have a great game. Tim Ream didn't have a great game. Like no one had a good game. So you had all of those things snowball. I don't think it was because Wilfred Zaha wasn't here, everyone played like shit. It just was, it happened to be a game where Wilfred Zaha was also out, if that makes sense.
That's fair. I mean, I meant to mention this earlier, talking about everybody just being off. How many times, especially in the second half, did we see Ream try to pass the ball to Toffolo like 20 yards from him and they just completely miss each other? Yeah. It happened multiple times.
Pass it right out of bounds. Yeah.
Like what? And there was, what are we doing? Like there was just, everybody was off.
There's your bracelet.
Yeah. It was just, no one looked like they had a clue what was going on in the match. No one looked comfortable and just making goofy mistakes over and over and over again. It was
Dean
weird.
Just forgot to bring the orange slices and Capri Sun for halftime is what it was. And it threw everything off.
I think it just shows too that, people either really like Zaha or they don't. But I think this kind of shows, one, that when he's on the field, he does more than just assists and goals. He attracts attention. Mm-hmm. So they're going to be pulling over to him. And we've talked about this a lot of times when he gets that ball on the wing, he wants to cut in and shoot. That brings that second defender over. And that's leaving lots of space for Pep, I feel like, and could leave space for Tukulmadi. So when you don't have that dynamic out there and you have another DP who should be able to make things happen, and you're not getting that production. That's a problem. And then I think to really, literally the first 5 minutes, as we showed, the spacing between Abada, Gianni, and Tofolo was really off, and we kept going down that side and nothing was happening. So I think, just starting off on that bad foot, and Nashville was able to, even with their kind of, I don't want to say B squad, but with the, the rotation, they were able to stay in this game, and then got that kind of worldy off of a lack of, defense early on to leading up to that. And it just switched the game. And I think kind of punched us in the mouth, and we're like, wait a minute, we're supposed to be like steamrolling this team, but we didn't play like a team that was out to steamroll a team. We played like, we should be able to handle this. It's rotated. We should be able to handle this. And like slow. When we're aggressive and fast, that's when we played the best, I think.
Yes. Totally agree. All right, last one from Nate, because I was thinking about this too. Our two big wins, Austin and Red Bulls, have come from against 10-man teams. Is this who we truly are, or was last night a fluke? And so this is something I'll also say, like in the stands, I said something along the lines of, being frustrated about how poor we were playing. And I said, like, some games we come out and we look like one of the better teams in the league. And then other games we come out and play like this. And I was challenged by saying that we played like the best team in the league at all this season because our only good games were against 10 men. So the question really is, like, is this team good? Or is Saturday more of what we actually are? And we've had some lucky breaks and having to play teams that are down a man and capitalized on that. So I guess, like, what's the real Charlotte FC? Like, where are we really at this point in the season? David?
Can the real Charlotte FC please stand up? No, I'm just kidding. So, I don't know, man. That's a good question. I think we're still a little bit early in the year to kind of say which one is the real team to show up. But I think we're better than that, though. I think we're on paper and on talent wise, we're better than the teams that only take advantage when we're playing a man up. So just so happens to be great games when we had that. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I look at it like this: why did they get the red cards? Because we were playing well and we were making things happen. And so that's the argument for me. And then also too, it's very easy to be down a man and hunker in and not be able to move the ball and score and everything like that. And during those games where we've, destroyed teams, we destroyed them. It wasn't like we struggled to score and couldn't move the ball. And we kept our foot on the gas too. So there's something to be said there. So I know people want to kind of like poke holes, like, we only won it, big against these teams with 10 men. Like, yeah, why did they get a red card in the first place? And then why did we score so many goals? I mean, like, there's something to be said there. So it's somewhere in the middle. And look, we're going to have good games and we're going to have bad games. We need to keep our stars on the field and make sure that Zaha's not missing important games. And we got to get production for some other folks. Just what I highlighted, these defensive mental lapses, cut those out. Because we're getting a lot of goals now scored on us. And I think it's from those little just turning off, really.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think Saturday was more the fluke. I think this team plays really well together at times. 10 men or not 10 men. So I think we got somewhere to go. All right. I'm going to use Matt Nolan's continued trolling of us about Abada to talk about the news that came out from social media. I think maybe you hinted at earlier, David. So he says, with Zaha's wife posting on socials about her final month here, is this the fire that will ignite 20-goal Abada? So we'll forget about the second half of that question. But the first half of that is, if you didn't see it anywhere, Wilfred Zaha's wife basically posted something about how she only has a month left in Charlotte and how much she's enjoyed her time here, which led everybody to be like, okay, well, it's officially, he's gone this summer. Obviously nothing official has actually come out about this. But any thoughts on that post and anything around that? Matt, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I think this was 100%.
Hold on before you say anything. Reckless speculation coming. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Say it.
No, I think that post was 100% on purpose. I think some of it is just negotiations. There's still, from my understanding, there's still talking it through. I think it's going to come down to like contract length and money. And I've seen people like, oh, pay Zaha whatever he wants and give him multi-year deal. He's 33. I love Zaha, by the way. We all know this. He's 33, though. He'll be 34 in December. To me, the ideal thing would be to give him a year contract that gets him through this season and the sprint season next year. And that's when that contract would end. I don't know if Zaha would want to go for that, though. I think Zaha wants that 3 and 4 year deal. The problem is, once the deal is done, you have a guy that's a DP that is 35 and 36, who's a winger. Now, we have Westwood, but Westwood's a TAM player. He's not a DP. He doesn't hold that spot. So I think that might be the holdup, but I don't know. But I think that post was 100%, drama, trying to like, you don't make that. I'm sorry, you don't make that post. You just don't. You just don't. I'm sorry. I've been around this game enough, especially following English teams, and you don't do that without a purpose. So,
yeah, David, any other thoughts?
I agree. I know we were joking earlier about text messages about what the team should have responded to and certain things, but I was disappointed by the lack of desserts on the table. There should be some sweets on there, Zaha. I'm just joking. Go ahead.
Can I say one thing? I'm not trying to be a jerk here. Not trying to be a jerk. When people post online, we reached out to the team and they had no comment on. I'm not trying to be mean, but I've got to say this because it kind of bugged me. When you reach out to a team and say, hey, what do you think about a player's wife posting that on Instagram? When they say no comment, it doesn't imply that it's a done deal that he's leaving. There is no circumstance or scenario where a team is going to comment on an Instagram or Snapchat post that a player's wife has made. Let's stop with that. Like, I saw that today and I'm like, I just rolled my eyes. I'm like, come on, man. Like, and Zaha may be leaving. And that this may happen, but like the team is not going to comment on a post like that. They're just not.
No.
So.
Nope. All right, a couple more questions. Charles points out something we were also talking about in the stands this weekend. Are our players on average relatively short and slender? We seem to lose too many contested balls and get knocked around too often. That's one reason I'm looking forward to seeing more from Aloko. He seems to be physically strong enough to really take it to defensive players. And I'll just add from my personal kind of my thoughts on it is it seemed very obvious to me how much smaller that we were than Nashville. Especially when we kept hoofing balls forward, hoping for the best and kept losing those balls. But like even just other times in that, you would just see players standing beside each other. It's like we seem position to position smaller than almost everybody on Nashville's team. And I hadn't really noticed that before in a match, but it seemed to really stand out in this one that our size was very different. But he says that's why he's excited to see someone like Aloko. I think someone like Morrison too. Morrison seems to be a big, strong guy. So there's a couple of exceptions to that, but in general, we have a lot of people in key roles that are more on the slender side of things.
Yeah.
I mean, Nathan Burns, not 6 foot.
Yeah, not including 6 foot Nathan Burns. Obviously, he's a huge guy that just locks down that position.
Was it last year? I'm getting old and seasons are run together. I can't remember if it was last year, maybe year before. We led the league in fouls or something like that. We were very physical. We were at the very kind of towards the bottom in fouls. Like we're not.
Ooh, interesting.
And maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. Seattle's down there too, but if I'm looking at some of those teams that are down there, it's like Houston, Orlando, Real Salt Lake, not the best teams. So we're not fouling a lot. I don't know if maybe we're not being physical enough. So
yeah, it's a good point.
Clip that for social media, everyone. Matt Swift says that CLTFC is soft. Just make sure when I'm so.
No, it was weird. I was looking at stats and everything. I was like, oh man, like I feel like I can't remember what year it was. I thought we were like very top of the league in fouls and stuff like that.
You're right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, maybe it was it was either a year or two ago. It was definitely during Dean's era. So.
Yeah. But yeah, this year, and it maybe we're more disciplined. I don't know, but I just thought it was kind of an odd thing when I looked at it.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right. Get back to my question. I think we have one more. We had no fun questions this week, which is all right, but usually we have one kind of palate cleanser to end on. So I'll have the palate cleanse with some Open Cup talk. Eric Hill says, one of the first pods of the season, you said you would reserve your assessments until after the homestand. Well, here we are. So he wants specifically some current grades on these few players that really haven't had as much discussion time on the pod as other players. So what I'll do is I'll read out the player and y'all give me a grade of how you feel like that player has done so far.
Okay.
So his first one is 6 foot tall Nathan Byrne. What's your B from David?
I feel like maybe like a B minus.
Okay. Luca De La Torre.
C. Maybe C minus.
Yeah, it's he's I don't know.
Get an
Maybe
assist.
I would C minus. I'll give him a C minus.
I really want somebody to get an F plus for a Tenacious D reference. No
There's
one's
one
going to
player
get
that we have for that.
F plus. All right.
F plus.
Vargas.
He hasn't really been the Vargas of last season so far.
Yeah.
I'm going to give him probably like a C. Towards a C I'll say C. I'm going to say C.
I'm going to say C plus. I'm grading on a curve. I don't know.
Okay.
I like it.
Isn't your wife a teacher, Corey?
She is.
Help her out. There you go. Right.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Tokomati.
C minus. Yeah,
Just a lot of not great grades for these players.
I mean, we'll see. Like that's what I made in school. Like I said, I mean, it's like average. C is average, right?
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think
I'd say. Oh, go ahead, Swift. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I think sometimes when we're like C, oh man, that's bad. But no, there's D and F. C's right in the middle.
C's get degrees.
Sure. There you go. Yeah. That's the route I took.
Thank God. Yeah, I know. I was gonna say. I'm gonna say B minus, just because if I'm gonna grade Kerr and Vargas as like a B minus, I'm gonna say he's had just as much output as Kerr once had at different times. So I'm gonna say B minus, if not maybe a little bit more. So I'm gonna say now if you're grading him on the height that he had going into this offseason, yes, I would say a C. But I would say just in terms of, I mean, he's 7 games in, 2 goals and assists. It's okay. Like it's not great, but it's okay.
A C. And he missed a PK. He just missed a PK.
More egregious than the missed PK was the missed rebound, but we don't need to rehash that again.
Yeah, that looked like one of my shots for sure.
Yeah, that was really bad.
The PK was one thing. Oh man,
Yeah.
watching that, I was watching that again earlier. I was like, "Whew, boy, that rebound."
I thought someone had got a foot to it and blocked it.
I don't think so. I'll rewatch it, but I don't think so.
No, it wasn't. No, he skied it.
Oh no, nothing got to it except for underneath his foot. Yeah.
All right. Last one is Morrison.
I'll give him a solid B.
I thought he'd get the best grade of the group. Yeah, that makes sense.
Solid B. Like more getting to like a B plus, but let's not go overboard. Like he's still young. There was one pass he made that almost got cut off in the middle, and they would have had a breakaway. And I'm like, oh my God, that was very much like a rookie pass. But man, let me tell you, I really like him. And we have certainly found some gems in center back position.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's that Tim Ream magic man developing talent back there with him in the center back room.
I think probably the opposite of that.
Hey, so speaking of which, since this player was that all the players he had listed on there? Corey?
That's all of it. Yep.
How about Kessler? What would you grade Kessler at this point? Swift.
Well, now he's not needed. I say that.
Well, so I was gonna say, and I guess this is where we could transition to some open talk. But I guess like I would expect him to get minutes in Open Cup. He just played for Legacy last week, so he's obviously getting back into game shape. Do you expect him? I don't think Morrison is at risk of losing that job anytime soon. But do you think World Cup transition to Kessler from Ream, or what do you think from that perspective?
Yeah, you might see after World Cup some like rest things like that. Some rotation there could very well be. So it's good that he's healthy. I just worry about him getting injured, man. Like it was a worry when we signed him, and already bit us so far. But knock on wood, like Morrison's been great, and who would have thought that would have shaped up? But another positive, big, massive shout out to our Crown Legacy pipeline. I don't know how many players we have brought up. We do it every single season. We've won. There's like 3 of them this season alone. Aaron John, who's also really, really good. Morrison, and then Akolo. So we just keep bringing them up. It's Ajimane, Tavares, Brandon Cambridge, Pekovic. Like we just Tiger Smalls. Like we keep bringing them up. So it's been a massive success in my opinion.
Yep. All right, we ready to talk about Open Cup?
Dude, I'm ready for you to break down the next 60 minutes, Charlotte Independence and Charlotte. I'm just trying. Yeah. So it's
very excited.
We'll talk a few minutes here for it. So what you got, Corey?
So I am one of the. We're not going to rehash the Open Cup and its merits and demerits, but I am a fan of the Open Cup. I really enjoy it. I think it's a fun tournament. It's got its issues, but I think it's a whole lot of fun. And the reason to me it's a whole lot of fun is because of what will happen Wednesday night, which is we will finally see Charlotte FC and Charlotte Independence play a match that matters. And I think that's the beauty of this kind of competition is, Charlotte Independence has been around for a while, USL League One team, a lot of people who are part of, the Charlotte FC supporters groups and core members of building up what Charlotte FC has done from a supporter standpoint. We're there with the Independents at the beginning as well, too. There's a straight through line between what was started there and what has kind of become Charlotte FC as well, too. And I think it's just awesome. Like you don't get to see this. There's no other chance that Charlotte FC and Charlotte Independence would have to play other than preseason friendlies. I think they've done that maybe once or twice in the past, maybe closed door or something like that. So I think this is going to be a lot of fun. It's Wednesday night, 7:30 at the Sportsplex in Matthews, streaming on Paramount Plus, it looks like. I'm just really excited about this.
Thank God you mentioned that because I had no idea where it was streaming.
Yeah. So before that, they were on YouTube. They're mostly on YouTube before this. But now they'll be on Paramount Plus. They'll probably still be on YouTube too, but it's listed as being streamed on Paramount Plus. And I just love this. I hope there's a decent crowd. It's a small place, but I remember going back to the US Open Cups games a couple years back at Sportsplex and having a lot of fun. It's a good way to see the team really up close. Again, you're going to see a lot of, rotation and things like that, but still a really good chance to see the team up close in a fun atmosphere. All the tickets are general admission, so you can just kind of go sit wherever you want to. And I think it'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, to me, this is the fun of it, is you get to have these regional rivalries that just won't happen anywhere else. And for Charlotte Independence, it's a chance to kind of prove themselves against, the big MLS team that came to town when they'd already been around for a little bit. So it's great. It's funny. Fun fact. I thought this was really funny when I was looking this up. They split the teams that qualified for this round, which this is the round of 32. This is when MLS teams all entered. 16 MLS teams entered the competition at this point. They split them into groups. You know what group we are in?
Yeah.
So yeah, we were in the Clint Dempsey group with it's Charlotte FC, Atlanta United, Chattanooga, and Charlotte Independence. Anyway,
I think if we win, we also host the next one, which would be maybe Atlanta.
Atlanta plays Chattanooga, and there's a note on here that says if Atlanta wins, they can't host the round of 16 because of venue stuff.
Yeah.
It looks like we would also host in that situation as well too. They're playing that match in Chattanooga. Which again, this is another fun thing about it for me, which like we can get to the money side of things, which is like I think a lot of other people's beef with this, but like the fact that Atlanta United is about to go play a match in Chattanooga is awesome. I love that. Like I think that's so cool that like because Chattanooga has a great soccer fandom and culture there. It's a great little town. And so for them to get to host an MLS club to come in and they get to show kind of what they're all about. Like I think that's great. So I love this competition. I'll be there Wednesday night. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, it's the first time these two have ever played. And I'm really looking forward to seeing that. And I will say, like, you can think what you want about the Independents, but like they've pretty consistently put a competitive team on the field. Like Independents usually make some noise. So I especially assuming we're going to rotate some players and we're not going to play their whole first team, like this could be interesting. You just never know how these are going to go. Yeah. So this could be a lot of fun, but, I was looking back to see, I believe, the Independents beat Charleston Battery, in their last match of the Open Cup. They beat them 3-2 after extra time. Charleston Battery play in USL Championship. So they're the second division in U.S. soccer. But yeah, again, that's all I'll say at this point, unless y'all want to bring up anything else. But I'm excited about it. If you have time Wednesday night, go grab a ticket and go check it out. It's a good time to like bring kids. It's like too. It's a very family friendly, open, relaxed atmosphere at that stadium. So, I'd say check it out.
I'm glad.
I just have to go ahead, Swift. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I'm glad it's on Paramount Plus because I think that's. For me, that's been part of the problem is just the investment in it, and it can't just be from one league. It needs to be everybody. So it's good that people can watch it too, where they don't have to go on YouTube. It's like a legit, put some real marketing and put some money behind it, right? So that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. If you really want to follow, I got to give a plug. Sorry. If you want to follow it, thecup.us, there's a guy has been just basically like, if you want to know anything about the US Open Cup, they've got it. And there's one guy that's basically been running it solo for a long, long time. Disclosure, I've done some work for them in the past. But like they've got just the history, and if you need to know anything and everything about Open Cup and what's going on with it, they've got it completely covered. So you can check that out as well.
I think Becca from Mint City Collective has been doing some stuff for Open Cup. She loves Open Cup, and I think she's been covering some of that too. And I can't remember. I'm blanking on where it is.
She wrote an article on the cup.us on April 1st.
Okay, so the same. All right, great. So
same website. Okay. Yeah, I've covered matches from him in the past years. I mean, I think one of the rounds when my wife was out of town, he was like, he needed people to. They update every single match on social media. So like, if you follow their socials, you'll see updates throughout the game of every single match, even going back to the way early qualifying rounds. So I helped them do that one time back. So again, they cover it front to back. And do a great job with it. So yeah, there's definitely some people in the area that you would know of who's probably either written for or done some work for them to keep it up. Cool. But yeah, the cup.us, and they're on all the social places as well too. You can follow them there to keep up with what's going on around it.
So I just for funsies here, the last time Charlotte played in the Sportsplex, so they played SGA, Tormenta FC, right? Mm-hmm. So
South Georgia Tormenta, baby.
Yeah,
gotta love it.
They don't exist anymore, unfortunately, because I think they were from Statesboro, and I think they folded this past year. So it was one of the teams. I don't know whoever it was. I'm just saying nonsense tonight, anyway. So, but ready to hear this starting 11 in the first half?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh boy,
Christian Kalina was calling the action, so he was the starting keeper. Jalen Lindsay, Adilson Malanda, Bill Tuoluma, Jan Soboshinsky, Derek Jones, Brant Bronico, Camille Uzviak, Enzo Capetti, Mackenzie Gaines.
Yeah.
And ready for this? Hold on. So then Nathan Byrne came in on the 20th minute because Bill Tuoluma got hurt. And then
that tracks.
And then Cambridge came on the 35th minute for Camille Uzviak because he got hurt.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I remember this.
That's how he got derailed because I think
he scored he scored a goal in that game.
Yeah, he was moving the right direction.
Fire.
Yeah. So then the second half, you had Christian Kalina, Jalen Lindsay, Adilson Malanda, Jan Tupasinski, Nathan Byrne, Derek Jones, Brant Bronico, Cambridge, Capetti, Gaines. But then substitutions, you had Andrew Privet come on and Karol Swiderski come on. It's weird.
We threw everything at that match.
I think that was Christian. So that was when the whole Latanzio out thing was really starting to gain traction, and like people were getting hardcore about it. So I think he was feeling a little bit. But what threw me off there, and I know you guys are gonna give me crap about saying Clint Dempsey, Chris Dempsey, et cetera. I was looking at this article, and this is what like threw me off for it was that Chris Hagart was also playing in this match. So I was like, I haven't heard that name in a long time. And then I was reading this as a true podcaster would be doing, is paying attention. As you mentioned that, I'm reading this article and I'm like, oh, Chris Dempsey. No, it's not Chris Dempsey. So Chris Hagart. But so there you go. But yeah, we really threw we threw it really right at them. And the sad thing, we won 4-1, but
I remember
it was
that
not.
match. Yeah,
we struggled the first 15-20 minutes, I believe, and then it finally the doors opened up there.
I'm looking at it. I didn't realize that Independence still had Enzo Martinez, that he's still kicking around there. That's awesome.
He just re-signed with them this year, so he was with Pittsburgh.
That.
So
all right,
he's back. He scored in the last Open Cup match they had. So
yeah, they've also had the same coach for basically forever.
He left for a little bit, and then I think he came back. I thought, right?
He did. There was that year. So this is going back to the Soccer and Sweet Tea days. Not that we need to reminisce down this rabbit hole a little bit, but Johnny Wakefield, who started this podcast with me, and started the Soccer and Sweet Tea, which is how I got into this whole soccer ridiculousness. We got season tickets to the Independence one year. Had a blast. Such a fun time. But that was the year that they hired a Gaelic football coach. Which is not the same as soccer or what they call football over there. It's a totally different sport.
I crack up so much
it's so
just hearing
insane.
that because
this again,
why would you do that?
So many questions. But they had it and it never worked. I mean, they won. They
no,
fine.
Don't tell me it never worked. It's like hiring a basketball coach for a football team. Like what?
I mean, I can't remember how they finished that season, but they weren't they fired him midway through the season, if I remember correctly. But it was an experiment.
It's literally Ted Lasso in real life, except it didn't work out.
Yes,
it's almost
Ted
like
Lasso.
Somebody made a mistake.
Lasso.
Somebody made a mistake thinking he was really a soccer coach.
I'm convinced that's what happened.
And then they were like, well, they act like they were good with it and they just ran with it. And then they're like, oh, he's not doing so good. We guess we better fire him. But
you can't tell me otherwise. That's the story. They thought it was the same sport. Someone in the front office thought it was the same sport, and only in retrospect was like, wait, that's not the same football they call football over there.
There's 15 players on each team during the game.
They saw football ended in England, and they were like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, why Gaelic. Not? He's an Ireland soccer coach. We should get him.
Can't convince me otherwise. I'm fully convinced that's what happened.
Yeah,
anyway, also that was the first time.
Talk about it.
Yeah. The first time I covered a match for the Cup.us was when the Florida Soccer Soldiers came to the Sportsplex and beat the Charlotte Independence. Florida Soccer Soldiers, some amateur team. I mean, they might have been semi-pro or something, but not in the same level as what the Independence should have been at this point. Florida Soccer Soldiers won. And then Independence turned around and signed the player who scored on them from the Florida Soccer Soldiers to a contract the next week. He's a 19-year-old kid or something like that. Amazing.
Yeah,
that was a wild year. That was a wild year.
I just love that the Wikipedia has a 2-paragraph thing about the Florida Soccer Soldiers, and the first paragraph is, it's American semi-pro professional soccer team based in North Miami, Florida, plays in the UPSL. The club was established in 2018 and gained notoriety after qualifying for the third round of the U.S. Open Cup in 2019, defeating professional clubs like Miami FC and Charlotte Independence.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
That's literally the history of them is the 2019 U.S. Open Cup run for them.
And that was it. I mean, what else do you need right there? So anyway, U.S. Open Cup's wild. You should go check it out. Follow along. Get into it.
I'll only watch it if they bring back the Gaelic football soccer coach. So that'd be great.
What was his name? Mike Jeffries is the coach that they've had on and off for forever. I can picture the guy. He had this great white hair.
I'm Googling it quickly. If you keep filibustering, I
just remember all the post-game press conferences were hilarious because it was just Ashley Mahoney, who now does a lot for
Jim
Axios.
McGinnis.
Jim McGinnis. That's right.
Because that's the most stereotypical name.
They thought he was.
So here's the thing.
That's hilarious.
He wasn't even, oh my God, this is so bad. I'm looking at his Wikipedia. Sorry, this is how we're going to end the show. He wasn't even a head coach at he was a performance consultant for Celtic, a youth coach for Celtic, a assistant coach for 1 year in China, and then he got signed for Charlotte Independence.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It doesn't make any sense. And it was hilarious. Anyway, that was just reminiscing on lower level soccer's wild, man. Get it. Get it on the action with it. I'll see y'all Wednesday. Are you? Neither of y'all are going, are you? Matt, you said you're on the fence.
I really want to, but I will not be there, unfortunately.
I'm like 50-50.
All right. The wife and the girls were like, no. And so I was like, this is me buying a solo ticket. And I'm going to find some friends.
Just some good MCC folks going.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
especially if it was general
people.
mission. I was like, yeah, I'll just get a ticket. I'll find someone I know and we'll have a good time. So,
Yeah.
all right. Anything else? Anything else we want to discuss?
No.
We've gone
Good.
way long.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll get off on the right foot in Open Cup and we'll forget about this last game. But the season so far has been pretty good. We're all things considered, we just lost and we're fifth, but we are kind of tied for, on
Sure.
11 points. But yeah, man, like not horrible. So lots of positives to take in. So
Agreed. Thanks everybody for listening. As always, check out our Patreon if you want to join our Discord, ask us questions, talk about Gaelic football, any of the above. Just search Mint City Soccer Show on Patreon. We also put it in the show notes if you want to find it there. Join us there to talk all things Charlotte FC. Hopefully we'll see some people at the Sportsplex on Wednesday night, because you're not going to get a home match of Charlotte for a while otherwise. So might as well enjoy it while we have it until May. But either way, we'll be back to chat about whatever happens in the next week of Charlotte FC Soccer. So thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you later.
see ya.